once said, "The American dream is not that every man be level with every man. The American dream is that every man should be free to become who God intends he should become." I am a longtime admirer of Ronald Reagan. Ronald Dutch Reagan was the 40th President of the United States. He was a famous movie star turned famous president and lived a remarkable life and lived to be 94 years old. I will be taking you through the early years of Ronald Reagan's life, the political years, and the years that followed his presidency leading up to his death. First, I'm going to take you through the early years of Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan's life began on February 6, 1911. He was born Ronald Wilson Reagan to Jack and Nell Reagan up to Tampico, Illinois. They moved around a lot, but in 1920 they settled in Dixon, Illinois. Reagan started high school at Dixon High School in 1924. He was a football star as well as swim captain and played and ran track. He also enjoyed acting and being student body president. He graduated from high school in 1928 and went on to Eureka College, a small Disciples of Christ school. He earned varsity letters. He earned a scholarship in football and earned varsity letters 3 to 4 years. He played, also earning letters in swim and track. He served 2 years in the school senate and was elected student body president his senior year. He graduated from Eureka College in 1932 with a bachelor's degree in economics and social science. Reagan landed his first job at a radio station called WOC in Des Moines, Iowa. He was a very popular and well-known sports announcer. In 1937, he moved to California to become an actor for the Warner Brothers. In 1940, Reagan married fellow actress Jane Wyman. Together they had 2 children, Maureen Elizabeth and an adopted son, Michael Edward. In 1942, Reagan enters active military service. He becomes second lieutenant and was assigned the 1st Motion Picture Unit. In 1948, Jane Wyman divorces Reagan. In 1952, he marries Nancy Davis, fellow actress as well. They have 2 children, Patricia Ann and Ronald Prescott. Now that you have heard the early life of Ronald Reagan, let's talk about the political life of Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan's political career began in 1966 when he was elected governor of California. As the book Ronald Reagan, 100 Years states, Reagan won by a landslide. He won by more than 1 million votes and carried all the states except for 3. All the counties except for 3 in the state. In 1970, he was re-elected for 2nd term as governor. During his first term, Governor Reagan temporarily stopped government hiring and increased tax rates to balance the state budget. In his 2nd term, he, according to the California Library, worked with the Democratic Party to do a major reform on the welfare in 1971. Reagan announced his bid for presidency on November 13, 1979. He asked former Texas Congressman George H.W. Bush to run on his ticket. Reagan won 489 electoral votes to 49 of President Jimmy Carter. During his 8 years of presidency, 20 million jobs were created. The prime interest rate was slashed more than half. This is just to name a few of his accomplishments. Also, President Reagan's outstanding achievement of redefining the U.S.-Soviet relations had a lasting positive effect on both nations. He was successful at creating a strong relationship with the United Nations and is well known for the words, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall," words he spoke while being televised at the Brandenburg Gate. As a result of Reagan's bold stand in public challenge to Gorbachev, The wall that divided Germany was torn down and freedom was restored to those who were held captive. He was a beloved president and man, and he was well liked by both those who agreed with his policies and didn't. Lastly, I want to give you a look into the years following his presidency and his death. In retirement, Nancy and Ronald bought a house in Bel Air and primarily lived there while vacationing in their ranch in Santa Barbara. Reagan kept up his appearances and finished writing his memoirs also while writing his autobiography. In November of 1991, his presidential library was opened in an extravagant ceremony. In August 1994, at 83 years old, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Reagan, with a handwritten letter, gave his farewell to the American people. He died at the age of 94 on July 5th, 2004, almost a decade later. This speech has been about the life of Ronald Reagan. You have gotten to see the early years, the political years, and the years following his presidency. Ronald Reagan was a beloved president by many and is given credit for changing the American government and making a lasting impression on the American people. He was a hero and was awarded dozens of medals for his patriotism and the great service to the American people. Thank you.